Good evening, everyone. I think we should start now.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening, good evening. And meanwhile, I think you guys keep your mics on mute. So if you need, you can unmute anytime to avoid any disturbance. Okay, guys. So first of all, I would like to give my introduction here. My name is Sanjay Sharma, and I have almost 25 years of experience in the field of IT. So these days, I'm giving training for AWS and Azure, Red Hat Linux, ethical hacking, and many other areas like VMware virtualization. Right. So I think 5 or 6 domains are there in which I'm giving this training. I already means have very good professional experience. I was working with Tata Honeywell earlier. I worked with Red Hat. I worked with NIT Limited as a project manager. But these days, I'm totally into trainings and I'm providing consultancy as well as, right? So, guys, this is the thing. We have to start. First of all, you need to understand what is the cloud computing. I think we should start here. What is the cloud computing? You know that the cloud is everywhere these days, whether you're using your mobile, whether you're using your servers or any kind of a services you're using. So everywhere you can find cloud. But what exactly is a cloud? So if you know the definition is written in red line here. The delivery of hosted services over the internet is termed as cloud computing. And it's a really sometimes hard to understand what are the hosted services. I'll explain later what are the hosted services. So, I'll take a very simple, scenarios, and with the help of that example, you can understand what is a cloud computing. Imagine you want to play a video game, but instead of buying a gaming console, because the gaming console is very expensive, or to actually play the game, you need to buy a powerful computer. Whether you are purchasing gaming console or powerful computer, definitely you have to invest. And these are basically expensive things. What you have decided, you should actually either hire the someone else powerful computer over the internet to play the game. Right, means what you are doing, instead of purchasing that gaming console or powerful computer, you are basically taking one computer, a powerful computer on rent over the internet to play the game. So cloud computing is like that, but for everything you do on a computer. So cloud computing allows you to use powerful computers and storage to save your files that are located somewhere else in the world. These computers often referred to as servers, right? These computers, we know them as servers, and these are available over the internet. These are accessible over the internet. You don't have to worry about buying or maintaining these servers. You just use them when you need them. So this is what exactly is a cloud computing means. So it is based on a pay-as-you-go pricing model. Means if you're using a computer for 2 hours, if you're using an infrastructure for, let's say, a few hours, so you will pay for that consumed resources, right? In terms of the storages, let's say you have a 100 GB data and you want to store 100 GB data over the cloud. So you will pay for 100 GB, right? And if you have a 500 GB data, you will pay for the 500 GB storage space. So we have a multiple things actually, so that you can understand what exactly is a cloud. So the definition, of course, is smaller, but the concept is little bigger. I think someone has. Jitendra, this batch would be in English. I think some people are attending. They, they will not understand Hindi. So please let me know. I think you can just write. You can write in chat how many of you are interested in English, Hindi, or both. You may write in your chat, please.
You may write in your chat, please.
Both. Okay. Please do write.
Please do write.
I'm waiting here.
I'm waiting here.
English. Michael, yes, English only. And Muthu also is, I think, from South India. You want to understand Hindi.
Understand
So we have a
Hindi.
restrictions
We have a
actually with some
restrictions
people.
actually.
Yes. Okay. I think we should not have any restriction. So you will understand Hindi as well as English. So I'm just continue with English here because some people will not understand Hindi. Okay, good. So guys, cloud computing. I'm back. I'm back on the topic. I was talking about the hosted service. I was telling you, so what are the cloud computing? Cloud computing are basically hosted services over the internet. But when you say hosted services, what are the hosted services? So, so I did write here some list of hosted services. Like, please mute yourself, Barry. Please mute yourself. Some disturbance is coming. Yeah, thank you. So, hosted services like infrastructure as a service, like the compute service, storage service, network service, or networking service. So, these are termed as infrastructure as a service. Then, second, we have a platform as a service in which you can host your application, web application, or any other type of application using cloud infrastructure. Database management. You can also have any kind of a data, whether it is a SQL database, no SQL database, right? Or middleware services. So, and we have a software as a service. Software as a service. I'll give example, right? I will not elaborate right now here, but step by step, one by one, I will elaborate. So, right, I'm telling you what are the hosted services. In the hosted services, the first is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. What are the software service? The example of the software service is Microsoft 365 or Google Workspace or some ERP, enterprise resource planning softwares, right? These are simple examples. These are simple examples of your business application, which comes under software as a services. Then we have a function as a service. Definitely, it is here very difficult to understand what is the function as a service. I'll explain you during the training what are the function as a service. We have a Lambda service, we have a function services. Means you can run your code without managing servers. You don't need any server to run your program. So without server, you can run your program. So this facility is available only over the cloud, and we know it as a function as a service. It's incredible. It isn't basically very popular these days. People are using function as a service to run application without using servers because the servers are expensive. So, and you can run these application in a serverless manner. Then another is a storage as a service. Another hosted service is a storage as a service. Storage, I'm talking about the data backup, archiving, or you want to store your data over the cloud, right, using internet. So means you can store any amount of data. The data can be in TBs, data can be in petabytes, right? And another is the security as a service. In order to provide security, in order to provide authentication, in order to provide filtration, in order to provide, let's say, some the high level security to filter some DDoS kind of attack, right? We can configure security over the cloud as well, right? These are also the example of hosted services. Disaster recovery as a service, database as a service, networking as a service. and finally artificial intelligence as a service. So these are some example I'm giving. What are the hosted services? I will share all these notes uh, with you, right? So in chat, I think somebody is writing, is firewall as a service? Firewall as a service and function as a service are the same? No. Function as a service is different, and firewall, I told you the firewall is a different, right? So firewall comes under security as a service. Understood?
Thank you, sir. I thought like firewall comes under firewall as a service as well. So
Yeah, we firewall as a service. Basically, they again created one more branch under the security as a service. Under the security as a service, we have another branch called the firewall as a service, right? But that will come under the security as a service.
in a security, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Secondly, my question is, why cloud computing? We are adopting cloud computing these days. Why it is becoming more popular? Because we have multiple advantages. We'll talk about advantages later on, right? Just talk about your traditional data center. Let's say this is my traditional data center. This is my traditional. This is a picture of my traditional data center, right? I think you are able to see very clearly on the screen. So on the screen, you can see routers, switches, blade servers, and everything's are connected through the cable process or the cabling. So data center is basically the facility which has a multiple components. And these components include servers, storage systems, networking equipments, power systems, cooling systems, security systems, as well as the monitoring and management systems. It's a complex to manage. It's a complex, really, it's expensive and a complex. Even after applying all these things, even if you deploy even all these things, so your own data center has some limitations. And what are the limitations? Let me tell you what are the limitations. Here we go. Okay, this is, here we go. I can see. And this is your modern data center these days. Definitely the modern data center also has servers, switches, cabling, and storages, and power supply, everything, heat and uh, uh, we call it as a heat ventilation and air conditioning. Everything is there, but it is well managed. But of course, in order to manage, you need a very high investment. You need a space. You need people to manage it. You need the hardware, right? So here we go. And second is, this is a very important point I included today. What are the challenges to manage your own data center? And this is basically kind of, disadvantage if you are managing your own data center. The first of all, high initial, the cost is required, means capital expenditure. In initial investment to build your data center is really very, very high. It means you need servers, you need switches, you need cables, you need space, you need power and cooling system, you need a security systems to manage your data center from unauthorized access, right? You also need some the cyber security, the entire cyber security, the process you need. You need to apply to protect against any kind of cyber threat such as a malware, hacking, DDoS attack, right? So means if you want to save your data center, so again is an additional cost. And if you have a one data center, so one single data center will not provide you high availability, or you cannot apply the disaster recovery and a business continuity over there. And to maintain the disaster recovery and business continuity, you must have multiple data centers on a different geographic location. And it is really, really very expensive to create a similar kind of a data center in a different place. And then you need a dedicated connectivity between such data centers. So again, the capital expenditure I'll talking about. The initial investment is very, very high. And here we just go and let me just find few more challenges are there. Compliances and regulatory issues. Let's say in United States of America. So America has a different rules and compliances. In Europe, we have a different rules and compliances, you can say. In India, in Asia, we have a different rules, right? So means you are responsible for compliances. So means you have to follow those rules, compliances, everything, law and all, whatever it is. The data center must comply with various data protection regulations according to the geographic location where exactly this data center is placed. It is in India, it is in Europe, is it in United States? So accordingly you will manage. Then the most important part, you need basically a fleet of good professionals who have the skill to manage or maintain your data center. So you need a specialized skills. You need a people who can manage your data center. You need a network engineer, system administrators, security experts, right? Then the staffing challenges like recruiting, training, retaining qualified staff can be a difficult and expensive for any business. The environmental impact. If you are creating your own data center, you're responsible for to maintain the environmental impact, what kind of a technology you are using. Then we have a vendor and supply chain management means you have to depend on the vendors who will supply hardware to run your data center. And if you want to scale up immediately any resource, it is not possible. Immediately, it is not possible. That will take a time. It's a time consuming. So these are some restrictions. These are some challenges. That's why people are not using their own data center. Over the cloud, you don't have such challenges. Am I correct or not, guys?
Yes, sir, you are. But even like you need like a good cloud professional as well. You know, like
Pardon me? Pardon me? Yeah.
like
You
like because even like one, if you enable one, I know like one of my friend like in his department, somebody enabled some feature and nobody knows about it, and like they got like a big bill for that, like
for
charges. So
example, can you give a little example here?
some alerts they enabled, and they really didn't need those kind of sorry.
Okay. Yeah, yes. You're perfectly right. You're perfectly right.
Sorry, my son was start talking, so I had to put on mute. Sorry.
No, not an issue. You can continue. You please. It's really good.
No, like sir, like one of what happened like in my friends, we were just talking, and he enabled like one of his colleague, they enabled one feature, and they didn't know like they thought it's gonna be like it's not gonna be very expensive, but when they got the bill, it was it
So
cost them like
this,
quite a bit money.
yeah,
So
I got
Sorry
it.
for
I
the
got it.
interruption, Rohit. I have a personal experience on that. I
Yeah.
have charged around $900. It was around 71K, I think. Then they have talked with the customer support and they have waived off, and it was done by
So
mistake like this.
yes,
There will be
yes, yes.
many escalation because it was related to the cost, right? Everything was
See.
comes under our head only if we did have any mistake.
I agreed. I
And,
agreed 100%. I agreed 100%. Means,
actually,
but
it was done by my junior, but it was
uh,
comes in my head only.
yes, definitely, definitely. Somebody has. He had the permission to actually create some or use some resources. That's why it was
Yeah,
done.
actually, he created on database.
Hmm.
For actually, I gave him a training, but at the time he
Hmm.
created a database. But I told them to close the database. I mean, delete those things in those websites. But they didn't close that. It was running background. So every day it was charging in a hour basis, and it came around $900 at the month end.
So was alert configured for that? Was alert configured on your cloud,
No,
or
no,
you suddenly
actually,
came to know that
no,
later on?
no. Later on, it was came under my billing because it was my personal login.
Okay, it was
Actually,
your
they have
personal login.
opened a SageMaker.
No,
Actually, I
SageMaker
too
is
don't know
yes,
this.
yes. It's a
Yeah,
paid
it was
service. It's a paid
created.
service.
Yeah, it have created a S3 bucket in the background. I too don't know those things, and then I have called the customer support, and we have some discussion, and they at last they have waived off that bill.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, I came. I
Hmm.
noticed that after 1 month only I received that mail. After only I received that mail. Still,
Okay.
I don't know that because many of the things we don't know, right?
It means
That is my
because of
personal
lack
experience.
of no. So what is the conclusion? What is the conclusion of all this? Because of lack of information, lack of knowledge, you will face
Yeah,
such kind of issues,
yeah. Due to
right?
curiosity, we have paid for that.
Yes, definitely due to the curiosity you create, and you will see that everything
Yeah,
is basically based on the pay-as-you-go pricing model. No, it
yeah,
is not everywhere applicable. We say the cloud is based on pay-as-you-go pricing model, but this particular fact does not apply everywhere because it also applies on subscription. So a lot of things are available whether you're using Azure, GCP, or AWS, they are using third party tools. They means these clouds providers are using third party tools. These cloud providers are using some the tools which are not based on the pay as you go pricing model. But when you try to use them, they give you subscription first, and every subscription has a some fixed cost. So in order to subscribe anything, if you want to use anything, you should have a proper knowledge about that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
After those
Okay.
issues, I came to know these things and all.
Yeah, definitely we'll discuss everything here. Not an issue. So
Okay.
guys, what are the advantages of cloud computing? This is really very important because let's say you're a fresher. So I'm just considering everyone is fresher here, right? I will cover each and every topic here. So the first two classes I'm taking theoretical, in which I will give some concepts. I will talk about global infrastructure of AWS. What is AWS? What is a free tier account? And what is the AWS management console? And then we will start using services. So the next point is advantages of cloud computing. Definitely, we were talking about some challenges of your physical data center. But why you are using cloud computing? Because of some advantages, right? And what are those advantages? The cost efficiency. You have not to purchase everything. You have not to purchase. Definitely, you have not to set up any data center, and you're saving the cost. So business can avoid the significant cost associated with the setting up and maintaining your data center. You are saving the cost, right? Secondly, the pay-as-you-go pricing model. I told you the pay-as-you-go pricing model is basically the fit in cloud computing, but it is not applicable everywhere. It depends on the service to service, the what kind of a service you're using, what kind of product you're using. But the most of the resources, let's say the compute resources, the database resources, right? Some services are using this pay-as-you-go pricing model. Let's say you have a server, you launch a server, you use that server only for 2 hours, and after 2 hours you switch off that server or you shut down that server. So you will only pay for 2 hours, right? Because in servers we have a different kind of a servers, reserved servers, we have on-demand servers, we have a spot instances, means we have dedicated instances, right? When I say instances, I'm talking about virtual machines. When I say instances, when I say this word instances, it means a virtual machine or server. So server, virtual machine, instances are basically same in cloud computing. The second is scalability. The scalability is very fast, very, very fast, because you have not to purchase any server. You have not to set up any hardware. Everything is already available in the cloud provider's data center. So you have to just configure how many number of machines are needed to scale up. You can immediately, within a few seconds, you can scale up. It is too fast. And that's why these days, so almost all e-commerce websites, almost, I'm not saying 100%, let's say 70%, 80% e-commerce websites are running on this scalable environment or cloud computing. Right. And the global reach, it is available. If you need a redundancy, for example, if you need a high availability on your application, on your data, the same means on the same cloud platform, you can choose a different regions. Let's say you are in India, right? But your the clientele is in USA. But you need your data in India as well as in the USA. And you do not want to leave actually your infrastructure. So the cloud is the best for that. So one server you can create in India, another server you can create in USA to provide availability of your application at low latency. So this also is possible. So global reach, it is available everywhere. If you're talking about the cloud computing, right? So if you talk about, let's say AWS. So in AWS, we have more than 33 regions. Region is a geographical location, right? So it depends, means you are ready to pay money for scalability and flexibility. And AWS is providing infrastructure. So means these data centers are available almost in every continent, in every business location. We have an enhanced security. What are the enhanced security? Enhanced security means when you say security, security is not a small domain. It's a really big domain. So I'm talking about authentication. I'm talking about access management. I'm talking about threat detection. I'm talking about means protect your data and application. I'm talking about encryption. So means such kind of security you can easily, in an effortless manner, apply in cloud computing. Because let's say you want to encrypt your data while it is in transit or in rest. It is very simple to just use some keys and encrypt your data. And but if instead of this, if you are using your own data center, means you have to configure a server who will provide encryption keys to you, right? Means you have to create an encryption keys. You need to maintain those means servers who are creating encryption keys, and then you will create keys and apply encryption. So it's a little lengthier process, right? And if the process is lengthier, if something happens wrong, it's very difficult to troubleshoot. Next is disaster recovery and business continuity. As I told you, disaster recovery. So means your infrastructure is available almost in every country, in every major business location, in every continent. So it will depend. So means how you want to use it. To ensure high availability and minimizing downtime in the event of a disaster. And automated backup can also be done, right? Now, so these are some important things means we have in cloud computing. So I have one, let's say, I have this PPT. In this PPT, I generally don't use PPTs, right? But because this is a very first class, so few things are written here. Just a minute. I'll talk about advantages of cloud computing. Is there or not? Yeah, benefits of cloud computing, flexibility. So one by one, we can talk. And if you want to add something, really, I will be happy, right? Okay, let's say flexibility. What is the flexibility? Anybody who can tell me what is the flexibility? Anyone? Anyone wants
Hi,
to?
this is Muthu.
Yes, Muthu.
Like flexibility means if we are running a small business and we are using cloud services, if we are going for a, if we are growing means we can use extra resources as we can want. If we are using cloud means it is very easy. If we are using a physical means we need to add one more data center, so it will be more cost. So in cloud there is no issue in that, so we can flexibility. If we can,
In cloud, yes. In cloud, you can scale up your resources or compute resources in a few minutes or in few seconds, depend on the configuration, right?
yes,
Let's say auto scaling.
yeah, we can
So
enlarge and we can shrink whenever we want.
Yeah, we can
yes,
scale up, scale down. Yes.
you
Yeah.
can scale up and scale down effortlessly. And it is not
Yeah.
possible in your physical data center, because scale down is possible, but if you want to scale up in your physical data center, it is not possible because you need a additional hardware resources. Am I correct?
And it's also a time
And
consuming process also.
yes, and it is not immediately, you cannot deploy immediately.
Yeah.
Second is, let's say, control capital expenditure. Means this is the benefit of cloud computing, because you are not responsible to purchase any hardware. You are not responsible to manage your power supply or heat ventilation system. Means everything is managed by cloud provider in backend. So you have not to invest ultimately in data centers. So the control capital expenditure is another advantage. Second is software updates, because I told you the cloud computing, what is the backbone of cloud computing, right? So we have basically two major components on which cloud computing will work. Number one is internet, and another is a virtualization. So let's say I'm talking about the internet. Whatever resources you are creating, whatever machines you are creating, let's say you have a Linux machine, you have a Windows machine, you have a Mac machine, right? You have a Mac server or Windows server. So those servers are ultimately connected with online software repositories. It means you have not to create and manage software repositories. You simply just run a command to update your softwares. And those servers are automatically connected with the online repositories. You know what is the online repositories? You get an update actually from online repository online from the internet, right? So this kind of a feature is available over the cloud computing. But if you have your own data center, so it means you will manage your offline repositories, right? On-prem repositories you will manage. And for that, you will pay more money. You need more servers, you need a connectivity, and you need a one expert person to manage such repositories. But here in cloud computing, you don't need any the skilled person to manage repositories, because the repositories, online repositories, are automatically connected with your computer resources.
Sir, can it save
Guys,
us from that CloudStrike updates that happened 2, 3 weeks ago?
yes,
Like you
yes,
said,
yes. Yeah,
yeah.
2 3 weeks ago. That was I think something else. They made a blunder over there. So there was some vulnerability. I think it was because of the co-pilot, I think, right?
No, there was like because nowadays like these big company they use a what they call a CloudStrike is another company, their endpoint,
Uh,
and I think like their
uh.
endpoint they were doing some kind of update and that's basically crash. It didn't go
Yes,
well
yes.
and it crashed all the Windows
Right, right.
machines. And
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like it was like all the computers they get the update on the same day. So because of
Mm-hmm.
that, like it it crashed everything because they didn't do a proper testing or something like that. Um,
Not
Yeah, but
exactly
I
the
do.
proper testing.
Yeah, but I don't believe that is going to, the what sir is trying to explain is going to help
No,
for
that was
CrowdStrike
actually
issue.
because of some bug was
Yeah,
there, I think, in that
yeah,
update.
because I work on CrowdStrike, and
Right.
I mean, the day when this update came, yeah, so we were in a panic mode. But of course,
Hmm.
I mean, that was for the on-prem endpoint where the CrowdStrike were installed, and we
Hmm.
end up in saying BSOD. But I think as far as the cloud or AWS is concerned, I think we
Hmm.
have to have a different perspective to it. I don't believe. I mean, CrowdStrike is very popular, and yeah, the issue that it has caused on Windows machines specifically due to the Falcon
Hmm.
sensor update. But I don't find
Okay.
any connection of what Sir is trying to say has had to do with something called CrowdStrike.
It
No,
was
because it's just
basically related to some security
Yeah,
update. It was
so
related to some security
they
update.
made yeah sir they made an update and which
Uh,
had a collision with the Windows kernel and
eh,
the all the
right.
hardware connection has stopped. So yeah, so
Hmm.
no keyboard is working, no mouse is working, complete BSO.
Actually, that security update had a bug. Actually, that's why it
Yeah,
had
yes,
happened.
yeah, yeah. So it was
Hmm.
the result of the improper coding,
Hmm.
and they didn't tested it well before going on to production. Yeah, so
The
and
services
I'm
were,
telling you,
yeah.
yeah. So what we are doing is basically we're partially shifting to another EDR tool called Sentinel-1. Partially. I mean, this is the
Hmm.
major damage happened to CrowdStrike. Uh, yeah,
Hmm.
so
Hmm. Yes. Okay. By the way, so software update is clear, right? What is a software update? So let's say if
yeah,
you have
yeah,
a knowledge about Linux operating system, or let's say we have a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. So generally, if you want to update such machines, or you have a Windows operating system, Windows Server operating system, you not generally update your systems or servers directly from online repositories. And it is very easy over the cloud because it is already encrypted. You are not using internet path because you are a part of cloud infrastructure. So your traffic will not route to internet, right? Next is let's say here is stop guessing capacity.
Sanjay, sorry for
See,
the interruption. I have on that.
yeah,
Regarding the software update, the
uh,
software, the updated software was already in the online repository, right? So we need a internet to download that, right?
no. See, I'll tell you. For
they have
example,
a backbone connection, I think.
so see. This is not like this. You just understand because I don't want to explain. Let's say this is your AWS cloud, right? You just understand this is your AWS cloud,
Okay.
and let's say this AWS cloud over the globe. So I'm
Okay.
explaining with the help of this rectangle, and you have one location in US, you have another location in let's say in London. You have this is your AWS. AWS, the core area from where you will get updates. So your server basically in one region. This is your server. Let's say this is your server, and one server you have in another region, right? And of course, definitely if you want to work on cloud computing, you need an internet connection. But within AWS, this server is connected with repositories using internal connectivity within the AWS. So this traffic will not travel on over the internet.
are
This
you saying
traffic will,
intranet type?
yeah, this is kind of an intranet type because it is managed by AWS, right? So,
Okay.
that's why this kind of a update, or if you transfer data from one server to another server within AWS, it is safe. It is 100% safe. Means that data will not use any internet path, right? Is it clear?
Yeah, fine. So the updates will be on the intranet service, so we can get with those command, right?
Right. Correct. So this is the core part from your getting update. Let's say these are update servers, or you can say area, right? And these are the servers, and these are the paths. These are the paths. The path are within AWS cloud or AWS infrastructure within. So there is no chance of any sniffing. Nobody can sniff the traffic. Nobody can see the traffic, right? Because you're using AWS infrastructure to transfer data from one place to another place, or from one server to another server. Whether you're updating or you're transferring the data, your data is safe. So this is the advantage we have.
So AWS will take care of the update and they will put it in that server area, right? Update server area.
AWS is only responsible to provide services. AWS is not responsible for any configuration of your infrastructure. Means if you are creating your own infrastructure, you're responsible within AWS. But AWS is responsible for services they are providing. AWS is responsible for their data center to provide a continuous resources, right? But if you configure your resources, let's say you are a server, so this server should not be vulnerable. A server should not be vulnerable.
Okay. Like what I'm asking is, if I am using a VMware, for example, it's a software, so I'll get a update within the AWS, right? So AWS will give the update, right? Automatically.
Yeah, AWS will give it. Yes.
Okay.
You're using VMware. What you're saying? You are using VMware.
Yeah.
You are using VMware with AWS or separately?
It's within an AWS as a software as a service.
Yes. Of course. Because these days, a VMware also is a VMware infrastructure also is a part of AWS, right?
Okay.
AWS. So we have a separate service available, AWS with VMware. Correct.
So they will take care of the update, so we can get the regular
Yes.
updates within our servers, right?
Perfect.
Yes. So now I
guys,
can get that.
now I'll continue. Let's say automated updates are there, faster time to market. You can rapid deployment. We can purchase any third-party tool. You can purchase multiple subscription are available. Let's say you want to purchase a machine for penetration testing, right? And that penetration tester machine must have multiple or a number of tools. And AWS definitely is providing a subscription for such machines. So you can buy subscription, launch machine, and you can do penetration testing in your environment. But for that, you have to pay lump sum money. And you can see with the help of the subscription amount that AWS will provide you the complete detail. And environmental sustainability, right? And access to advanced technologies. Yes, this again. Let's say your company suddenly had decided to use some artificial intelligence, machine learning.
2 minus 6, it can't go. You borrow one. Stop borrowing. Stop. So 2 minus 6 is minus 4. Write it like that. 5 minus 1 is 4. Now this is tens and units, right?
So I think I just muted someone. What is
Oh my
I
God.
thought your voice changed, sir.
my voice has changed?
No, I'm just kidding. It's bad
Now it's
joke.
okay, na?
Yeah, it's good.
So
Well, that was
getting
weird.
actually.
6 minus 4, 4 minus 2 started immediately.
No, I thought what happened in that end. Okay, by the way. So that's why I'm saying everyone, please put your mic on mute. Okay. Yeah, what I'm saying, I was saying artificial intelligence, machine learning, any kind of such advanced technologies you can introduce in your services, in your infrastructure, anytime. And for that, you have not to prepare any spatial infrastructure. It is available in terms of services. I will explain you, we have a number of services in AWS. And improved performance and reliability, of course. These are some basic things you can see. If you have any question related to advantages of cloud computing, you may please ask.
So while I'm very much new to AWS or cloud overall, I was just, going through the documentation related to AWS, and I came across these two terms, which I thought it's quite confusing. Basically, AWS offers elasticity, and AWS also offers scalability. So
Yes.
while I was just reading them, I just wanted to figure out the exact difference between them, and then how auto scaling basically is different than elasticity. So basic question is elasticity and flexibility, because this is the core feature or advantage I think that AWS has. I would just
See.
like to understand the difference.
See, the term you're using, elasticity, flexibility, and scalability.
Yeah.
Elasticity means it will remain available. Just understand, it will remain available. In AWS, according to AWS, I'm telling you, like we have
Okay.
elastic compute cloud, we have elastic cache, we have elastic beanstalk, we have elastic block storage. Everywhere you will find elastic. Elastic
Yeah,
means it
elastic
will
word was
remain.
there. Common
Yes,
word there they were using.
it's a common word in AWS. So it means it will remain available.
Okay.
It is not related to high availability. It is remain available in backend actually. Let's say you are using block storage, and it's an elastic block storage. Means once you select a block storage for your machine, it will remain available. So mean the redundancy is provided in backend. So you are not configuring any redundancy for that EBS volume, but that volume by default is redundant. AWS is providing redundancy because you selected a specific volume. Similarly,
Okay.
let's say I'm talking about uh, elastic beanstalk. So it is specifically to the name. The beanstalk is a service which is used to provide some infrastructure on demand, or in order to provision your application automatically. We are using elastic beanstalk. So it is using some kind of cloud formation, some automated program to build your infrastructure automatically. So it is providing a kind of a availability of your resources, continuity of the
Okay.
resources called the elasticity. Now you are
Okay.
talking about flexibility. The flexibility is flexible means you can scale up or scale down. But
Okay.
ultimately, we are not using the word flexibility. Instead of this, we are using a word scalability. Scalability is a very specific and precise word we should use in cloud computing. Scalability means you can scale up or scale down your resources as per your requirement. And auto scaling is basically providing a scalability. Right?
Providing a scalability. Okay. Okay.
Auto scaling is providing a scalability.
Okay.
Auto scaling means you can scale up or scale down as per your requirement, as per the condition, as per the metric conditions you select.
So will it be
So
automatically done within the AWS as per my requirement?
as
Let's
per
say
your
if I
requirement,
receive a
as per
lot
the
of
condition
high
you will
traffic.
specify.
Okay.
Right. As per the conditions you will specify. Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Now I'll not go much deeper. We have let's say I want to just open and show you a few things. This is very important because you are learning AWS. You should have a little idea about certification path. So let's say you are a freshers, right? So we are going to cover two certificate content in this training. Number one is this is AWS Cloud Practitioner. What is the AWS Cloud Practitioner? It's a foundation level course for AWS. In this, it is talking about only the basic concepts. But our focus, we are going to focus. We are going to focus here. AWS Solution Architect. Here, I'm talking about here. We are talking about this certification. AWS Solution Architect Associate level. It's an associate level of certification. This is very important, very popular, and once you complete this certification, or if you complete this training honestly, I'm telling you, you have a very, very good understanding about AWS cloud, right? So, and it is very elaborated. So, and I'll complete each and everything in practically with the scenarios, with the assignments, everything I'll complete. And we have a few more certifications, some specialty kind of specialty certifications. So let's say you want to build your career in, uh, mm, let's say security. We have a security certification here. Security specialty certification for machine learning. We have a specialty certification for advanced networking. We have certification. So as far as my knowledge is concerned about you, I think you all are from infrastructure side. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So, sir, like if you want to write a certificate, so we will be writing this associate SAAC03. Is that the correct
Yes,
code?
yes, yes. SSAA hyphen C003, right?
C03. Yeah, that's what I said.
C03, yes, yes, yes. So C03 we will do.
So that's the one we will be studying for, or eventually if we want to write a certificate, we have to write that one. AWS Certificate Solution Architect, Associate SAA dash C03. Okay, thanks.
Oh, let me just here. My voice is clear? I'm
Yes,
just
sir.
finding this internet connection unstable. Why it is showing here? Right. Okay. So how to remove these? Okay. Let me remove all these signs. These signs no more required. Yeah. Here you can find about AWS Solution Architect Associate level. This is about examination, 130 minutes. It normally takes to complete the exam. And generally, AWS asks 65 questions. And the cost is $150, 150 USD. And number of things you can go and see. Just a minute. Why it is not, let me just, why this is not working for me. Yeah, it's working now. It's okay. Yeah, I was showing you. Yes, prepare for examination. If you go prepare for examination, the plan is given. You can see review and exam guide. It is really elaborated. In order to complete each and every topic, you need a really, really big time. So 23-page description is given, right? 23-page description about. So according to me, this is very huge. We can say huge syllabus, right? Okay. Now, you have to refer all these documents. You just go and see. And the next thing is, let me tell you, how many of you have AWS account?
I have
I think
opened that, and after that issue, I have temporarily closed that.
Okay, close back means you deleted your account or
Yeah, I have
suspended
given closed that. Yeah, I have
you?
given closed the account. Within 3 months, we can reopen that account, right?
Yes, yes. You have a limited time to reopen the account.
Yeah, it was done in June only, so
But I don't have
possible to
any
reopen.
account, sir, for AWS.
Okay, okay, okay. If you don't have an account, so what you will do? You go to, let's say, means how to create an account. I just gave a little idea about here. Because in order to create an account, AWS account, you you will use your either debit card or credit card, right? So first of all, write AWS free tier account. here. And this kind of a page you will see. This kind of a page you will see. And what you have to do, simply click on create a free account. As you click on create a free account, so you're asked to write your email ID. Please ensure that the email ID is not earlier used. So you will write your fresh email ID. It can be your personal Gmail ID as well, right? You can write any email ID, but please ensure that this email ID is never used before this AWS. And then you can write your AWS account name, anything, and then you will continue verify email address. As you click on verify email address, that email will have some verification code. So you will copy that verification code and you will write that verification code in the next screen. And then it will ask you to add a debit card or credit card. And at the time of creating this AWS account, AWS usually charge 2 Indian rupees. How much? 2 Indian rupees. It will debit 2 Indian rupees from your account. But in next 2 working days, you will get your 2 rupees back. No, not an issue. It is only to ensure that the person who is creating this account is valid. So nobody should create a fake account on AWS. So this kind of practice AWS is using here. Not AWS, the same thing is happening on Azure and GCP as well, right? So means once it is done, you will start using your AWS account. And this is your first screen. Let me tell you. So when you here, this is your first screen. Can you see here? And this screen is known as AWS Management Console, or you can also call it as Console Home. AWS Management Console. This is the first landing page of AWS. And what is important here? The important is you can see recently visited services. And if you see the top, this black strip, do you see the black strip on the top? From left to right, we have number of icons, number of options available. So you need to understand these options. So AWS, the logo you can see left hand side on the top. So if you click on this AWS, you will always land on this page. You will always land on this home page. This is the home page of AWS, right? And the second is AWS services. Click on AWS services. And all these services are categorized in groups. Like for analytics, we have a list of services. These are the list of services in analytics. Let's say in compute, we have a list of services in compute. For containers, we have a list of services. For databases, we have a list of services. So left-hand side, we have a group of services. And in each group, you have a multiple services. These are. So every single name is a service, right? Now, if you go further, we have a search box. What you can search here? Let's say you just type anything. Let's say I'm typing a service name. Let's say I'm typing EC2. EC2 is the name of a service, Elastic Compute Cloud. It's a compute service. So I did write here EC2. So related to EC2, it will show you services. It will show you features, resources, documentation, knowledge articles, marketplace, means what you can purchase from marketplace related to EC2, and blogs related to EC2, events related to EC2, right? So if you see, we have almost 13 services related to EC2. You can see here, right? And we have features like dashboard, instances, AMIs, elastic IP address. So we will learn one by one, everything practically. Resources, what resources you have related to EC2. Then documentation is very, very important. In order to enhance your knowledge, these documents are incredible, of course. So more than 30,496 documents are available only on EC2. Just imagine means means the volume of documents, right? Then we'll talk about knowledge articles. If you need a more knowledge about EC2, these are some specific articles, right? We have marketplace, blogs. You can see blogs. So all recognized, well-recognized blogs are written here. If you want to enhance your knowledge about anything, you can just write in search box and you can read blog. You can start reading blogs here. Events. Let's say you want to attend a specific event on a specific topic. You write a topic here and search an event. So these events are online and offline both. You can go there, what kind of event is event and when it will happen. You will open and you can register yourself to attend these events to enhance knowledge. Then the tutorials. Tutorials are there. Again, tutorials. You have almost 19 tutorials available free of cost on EC2, right? So these are, so what you can search? You can search services, features, resources, knowledge articles, documentation, blogs, events, and tutorials. Then we have this small icon, can you see here? And it's a cloud shell. It's a terminal. AWS is providing a terminal to access your virtual machines without using your local machine, without using your own laptop. Let's say you do not want to write anything on your own laptop to access a machine, or to, if you want to write some code, and if you want to put some, means push some code in your infrastructure without using your laptop. In that case, you can choose this cloud shell. Let's say I'm clicking on the cloud shell, and here we have a cloud shell. Cloud shell is basically terminal. AWS is providing Linux-based terminal here. And this terminal has some default storage space to upload your files, codes. So we will use this terminal. How to use this terminal, I'll tell you. Then we have a notification. Next is notification. So any notification, means if it is pertaining to your AWS account, whether you are using resources, excessive resource you are using, or you have a notification. So all these notifications you can see. So right now I don't have any notification here. And then the next is the help center, or you can say support. So support center means if you have some query, or you have a challenge, or you want to raise a ticket, you can go to support center and you can raise a ticket. Expert help is required, but expert help is not applicable for free account. So AWS is providing different kind of AWS account. So we are, of course, we are using free here, but in your production, generally companies, they use a different kind of account or paid account. In paid account, AWS provides some expert help. Then we have a repost. Repost also is an option, which is somehow is related to documentation, training, the resource center, and if you want to give any feedback regarding this platform. Then we have some setting. We have a setting. You can change some visual modes, dark, browser default, light. This way you can do, right? And this is your region. So right now I'm in North Virginia region. I told you in AWS, overall 33 regions are live, and regions are geographical location, and every region has a name, and every region has a code. Let's say North Virginia is a US East 1, Ohio is US East 2, Mumbai is AP South 1, Singapore AP Southeast 1, right? Can you see here? We have a long list. In India, we have two regions. One is in Hyderabad, another is in Mumbai. So you are all from India. Anybody who is attending this training outside India?
Yes, sir. It's me. I live in Canada.
Oh, you're in limited. Good, good. Okay. So,
So does that mean
United
that
States.
uh,
okay.
someone said?
So we'll start actually some practical, or we'll learn. First of all, I'll explain what is AWS.
Sir, after
Yeah.
sir, one question. After AWS account created, no limitation, sir. We can use anytime.
No, 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 no. See. This is not. We have a limitation. AWS free tier
1 year, I
account,
believe.
right? We have a resources. We have a free tier resources, right? What is free and what is not free? It is important. What is free and
This
what
is
is
what
not
I
free?
told initially, bro.
Let me tell you. If you scroll this page, you just move on this page. Just write AWS free tier in Google search, and you will get this page. And if you start scrolling down, it will tell you what is free. So AWS is providing 750 hours on EC2 service every month if you are using T2.micro or T3.micro machines, or T3.micro servers or instances. I'll explain actually during my training. And in S3 is a service. It's a storage service. So 5 GB is available free of cost. You should not choose more than 5 GB. RDS is a database service. In database service, again, you have a 750 hours every month free of cost. But you have a limitation. So what kind of instances type or instance size you can use, right? And for DynamoDB is a database service. It's a NoSQL database service. 25 GB is free of cost. SageMaker, 2 months free of cost. And Lambda is a function as a service, right? Or you can say this is a uh, very important, and this service in demand. So 1 million free requests per month are available free of cost. So there's a
Sorry,
long
sir,
list
what is
actually, right?
Lambda? What is this Lambda?
That's the one serverless service, right? Serverless.
Service. No. It's a basically function as a service. So in Lambda, you can run code without provisioning any server. Let's say
Yeah.
you have a code. The code is written in Python or in .NET or in any other language, let's say Java, and you want to run. Generally, we want to run such kind of applications to make a connectivity between components of servers or applications, or you want to orchestrate some task in your AWS. So you need a very lightweight, you have a very lightweight code, and you want to run it very frequently again and again. So for such cases, we use Lambda. I'll explain you later. So Lambda is there. So we have a number of services. So you have not to remember, but if you start using any service, please just see this page, what is free and what is not free. And the rest is
Oh,
practice.
so I just wanted to
Okay, sir.
understand the region that you have selected. I mean, you are sitting in India, but you can select the region of US, Virginia, Northeast, or any location that you want.
Yes, there is a specific reason behind this. Basically, what AWS does, if AWS make any changes in AWS, or if AWS provide any major service change in AWS, so the first of all, they apply in North Virginia. Means whatever the new changes are coming, the very first you will see in North Virginia. That's why I'm using North Virginia. You should not miss any new things, right?
Okay, so for example, any India-based company want to set up its AWS infrastructure.
Let's say you are a company and you are in India.
Yeah,
So in that case, your infrastructure should be near to you. So in
yeah.
that
Or
case,
in
you
Mumbai or
should choose.
Hyderabad.
Yes, either you should choose Mumbai or Hyderabad.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So guys, I'll stop this session right now, and tomorrow I'll start with the number of services, how many number of services are there, and what are the purpose of services, what we are going to start, and we'll start EC2 service first of all, right?
So if you allow me, I just have one query.
Yeah, please, Anuj.
Yeah, sir, actually, I am into the cybersecurity domain within IT, and I wanted to have a clarity, Lesha, because I am aiming for something cloud security. If you can give me the exact roadmap from the day one, then I would have, I would try to work upon that particular roadmap from day one. So, for example, because my company, all infrastructure is on AWS. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want, yeah, so I want, currently securing the on-prem or cloud-based resources, but yeah, I want to get completely into the cloud security. So any
Mhm.
certification path or roadmap that you can suggest to me, then I can keep that, in my daily action to achieve that.
Hmm. Okay, you just give a little time to me because you are needing a roadmap.
I
You need
understand. I understand. No problem.
you need a kind of a mind mapping, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Basically, it would be a great help. And
I have
I
a
think,
mind. I have
okay,
a mind
okay,
map, but this mind map is little different. It is only focusing. It is only focusing on AWS cloud computing, right?
okay,
So this is a roadmap what you should have in order to be a security professional. So what I'll do, I'll create a separate mind map. So you will follow you step by step.
okay.
You can just reach to particular direction, right?
Right, right, right. And moreover, I can see we have a lot of candidates who are having good amount of knowledge from the beginning. I would request you to, because I'm a beginner, so keep the explanation part for the beginner
Yes.
level so that, I can understand. Because, yeah, we
Yeah.
have a lot of folks who are